Welcome back to all my subscribers. I thank you for being here today. I hope you enjoyed this message and that this message resonates with you. Love you. Good evening, everyone. I am back again with another message. Just come to bring light and love to the collective. I just want to say a blessed evening, and I pray that this message would resonate with you. It would open your heart, your mind, your spirit wide to see clearly some of the things that we entrap ourselves in. And sometimes we feel that our circumstances is beyond us. When in truth and in fact, we are closer to liberation than we think. This message was triggered by a song that Bamali sang, where he say, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves could free our mind. And the thought just came to me. It's a situation I have faced in life already. It's a situation that we all at one time face. And as I always keep saying, it's because of our programming and our belief system. Sometimes we become imprisoned in our own thoughts, in our own actions. While, yes, people will try to manipulate us, but the power of manipulation really is what we allow persons to do, is what we give to them. And sometimes, I remember some time ago, a situation was coming to an end in a relationship with me and someone. And the person told me that they will kill themselves because, sometimes people, as I say, manipulation again, will use certain things to keep you trapped and bound to them. So the person said, I will kill myself. And I laugh. Now, it may sound heartless, but I laugh because I say, well, what does that have to do with me? Because if you choose to kill yourself, that is your life. And if you choose to take it, that is your business. But you are not going to use the fact that you're going to try to kill yourself to keep me bound and trapped to you. Because if you are unstable like that, then I really need to leave you. So, as I say, I don't fall for manipulation. And sometimes we have a lot of people who give into it and remain stuck in situations. And once you have somebody who is manipulating you and using your emotions and your soft-heartedness against you, they are going to continue to wring that dry. And the more you do not step out into who you're supposed to be and liberate yourself to seek your peace and your happiness, is the more they are going to use their circumstance and situation and carry the situation to a place like an atomic bomb ready to explode. And I say that because once they realize that what they're doing is actually holding you back or stopping you from making a particular move or from doing something that you want to do, they are going to play more and more crazy. And for me, the best way to deal with crazy is to be more crazy than the crazy. So I don't know why, it has always been in me. I always tell myself, I am not letting people emotionally manipulate me. Even in circumstances, sometimes people have children and people want to use the children against them. And let me say you have a husband or a wife and she wants to keep your child away from you because she feel, well, by doing so, she will have you trapped and using the child as an excuse. Nobody should use their children as an excuse in a relationship. Nobody should withhold a child's right towards one of the parent, either the father or the mother. It doesn't matter which side it is. That child should not have to come in between the issues between the man and the woman. Whatever issues you're having, that child is supposed to always feel well loved, well accepted. That child is not supposed to develop mental complex because two big people cannot get their act together. Two big people getting on like children, and therefore the child now becomes a circumstance of the situation. And that child starts to develop now and grow with a mental issue because of the seeds that the parents planted in that child's mind, because they want to use the child like a pawn. So either one of the parties had to walk away and not be a part of the child life and bring an imbalance in the child. So somehow the child feel rejected by the party that had to walk away in order to get peace. When in truth and in fact, the greater issue here should be to put the need of the child before all itself. So sometimes people will use children and all as a manipulative tactic just to get back at whoever the parent may be. And for me, I never had it happen to me, but if it had happened to me, for me, the quickest way through that is to leave them with the child. Because when you leave them with the child, let me say the parent or whatever, it's really manipulation. When they realize that you don't seem to care, eventually they just bring that child around because they realize now you're looking to move on, probably pick up somebody else, and if possible, make a child with somebody else, and them seeing that child that the other person have, or the other person may have children that is not yours that you participating with, and get jealous and realize, well, wait now. Then they realize it isn't working, because once they feel whatever they're doing working, they're going to continue to use it right through. So sometimes it has something called tough love. Sometimes you have to walk away in order to gain everything you want. Sometimes you have to walk away in order to get exactly what you want, because you see, once they realize that whatever they're doing working, they continue to do it. They will never stop doing it. And you will forever be trapped and forever be imprisoned in a situation that all it took from you is for you to either decide, well, here what? I go turn my back on that. Not because you really turn your back on it, but because you really want to let the person know that whatever they're doing, it's not working. It's not working to manipulate you so that it'll come better than that. And when they realize that nothing they're doing can manipulate it, eventually they tend to simmer down. So sometimes we use these situations as I say mind game manipulation, because they realize that by telling you certain things like I go kill myself, or I will harm myself, or I will do this, I will do that, that will keep you bound to them. But then what does that create? It creates a whole environment of toxicity, because even if you stay with them, like some men might stay in a relationship with a wife because of the children, they're using the children as the excuse. But the thing about it, if you could use that as an excuse to get me to do what you want me to do, it means that the foundation of our relationship is really a sick thing, and we are teaching our children the wrong foundation. Sometimes it's better to walk away, and rather than stay in a toxic situation. I had to make that decision when I had my daughter. Is either I stay in the relationship with your father just because we have a child together already and we want to build a family, but what kind of family we building? We building a broken, dysfunctional family. And I had to make up my mind, is either I stay in that and give her that kind of environment, or should I walk away and be a single parent and probably try to give her a healthier foundation. And I had to choose the one that I feel was best for myself and for her, because I'm not going to stay in a situation just because of a child, because the child is not going to see a proper example anyway. And yes, while she was growing up, she wanted she father, because children really don't know what is best at that time. And now she's a big woman. And you know what? She thanked God the day that I stood up and decided to go in the direction of being a single parent, because her life turned out better. And now she can see why it is I didn't want to go down that particular road with your father. Because the choices that I make would have affected her as well. And her future could have been very much different had I choose to stay in that toxicity, in that toxic relationship that really was not adding value to myself nor to her. So sometimes we have to make decisions that is best, sometimes for the greater good, and trust the Creator in it, and not allow ourselves to be manipulated by toxic persons who don't seem to be able to have a mental balance and be able to put their needs or the needs of others above themselves. So when you come and you say to me that you're going to kill yourself, 1 minute, give me a minute. Yes, as I was saying, we tend to believe in society today that if somebody is not throwing themselves at us, not running us down, not hanging us like a how should I put it, boy, like a wolf or something like that. If you're not hunging us down, they don't really love us. Because we have this wrong concept. Real love means me being happy for you. Even if it means that happiness does not include you being in my life, Even if it means that you might be happier with somebody else who could give you what you need and what you desire, and I therefore cannot give it. I am happy enough to walk away and allow you to be happy, knowing full well at least that you are being well taken care of. Because I cannot give you what you need or what you want. But some people don't understand that. That's why people murder people. They wouldn't give to the person what they need in the relationship while they're in the relationship. They wouldn't put the all. They hide in themselves. They hide in their emotions. They're not expressing themselves. They love the person all, but instead of treating the person with that love and respect to show, they rather give the person less and show the person like, according to the word now, there's a hater. To show the person that there's a hater. Don't feel you can control me, as a hater, you can control me. But you see, everybody have a choice. So while you being a hater, the person can choose to go. However, when the person chooses to go, now you want to get on like you're the best lover boy or the best lover girl. You understand? Now you want to do everything under the sun. When you could have done everything under the sun before the person leave and the person would have stayed. And people that say, women or men, you mustn't show your emotions because they will take advantage of you. And that is not really true. Because if somebody is taking advantage of your emotion, is a person who is not emotionally developed. Is a person who is what you call one of those fly-by-night man or woman. So therefore, you first to begin made a wrong choice. But if you get a real man or a real woman or a real man, is really honored to have a real man or a real woman in their life, because really no woman wants to wear, yes, we want equal right, but a real woman wants a man who knows his place as a man, who she can admire and follow. She not looking for a man who could dominate she until she went to sit down, when to get up, when to think. That is insecurity in men. Or if a woman trying to do them tactics on a man to try to control him, is insecurity in them. You think about it is that we are equal partners in a relationship. And if you know your role as a man and the woman knows she role as a woman, then she is confident to put down she independence. And when I say put down, not she going to stop working and become a housemaid, but she's willing to be more feminine and allow the man to lead, because a woman feels more secure, and I'm talking from my own perspective, feel more secure by a man who is capable of leading her, leading the family. Not that she wouldn't have a say, but he is capable of taking the reign. But most men want to take the reign and they don't know where they're going. They have no idea what they're going to do. And I'm speaking from a woman's point of view because I'm a woman. Not that it doesn't have women who do the same thing. So I'm talking to both sides of the spectrum, but I'm giving my views from my side because I cannot speak as much from on a man's perspective, but apply it to your own experiences as well from a woman's perspective who may be trying to do the same thing in terms of manipulating you into having you how they feel that they should have you. Right? And that is not how somebody is supposed to have you how you should. You're supposed to be willingly giving up your stance to the man to be reign over you, because the man is supposed to be the covering for the woman and Christ the covering for the man. But most men don't know how to cover a woman. They don't even know to let Christ cover them. So therefore they can't cover the woman, and therefore they lack proper judgment. They don't know where they're going. They want to rule, and when they can't rule with a gentle hand, they decide to use force and be abusive, verbally, mentally, and physically abusive. And then they try to instill fear, because that is what they do when they start to manipulate about to kill themselves. It's fear. They're trying to manipulate into you so that they can get you to come under control, or how they feel they want to control you. So you are afraid that they may kill themselves, or you might be afraid of certain things that they will do, so therefore you stay. And that in itself is another toxic, poisonous behavior. So a real woman doesn't have to use fear to get a man to be who is supposed to be. And a real man is not intimidated by a strong woman either, because a strong woman will surrender the masculine side of her, if the man could wear the pants properly. But most men can't wear the pants properly, it's always dropping off the waist. So now, the backside always outside. Rather than being able to cover the woman and cover themselves properly, the backside outside, so they can't lead. Because they're studying what they're watching on TV. They're not studying, nobody teach them how to be men. And I mean, I apologize for men today, because a lot of women at a very young age, within a certain bracket of society, became mothers when they were still children. And they didn't learn properly. And the fathers who fathered these children were also children themselves, who didn't know how to teach a man how to be a man. So therefore, men are struggling from a woman perspective, because they have so much femininity from the mother side alone, being a single parent, that they don't know how to take the masculine role and rule over their families properly. And therefore, they feel now the only way they can get the woman to conform is through abuse or manipulation, or that instilling fear. But as I say, this is not how it's supposed to be done. We need to get back to the very foundation. A man could rule over his home and his family and his wife without violence, without abuse, just by being a good example of a real man, providing for them properly, always concerned and making sure he take care of his family, household. But at the same time, he does not allow the woman too much room to rule over him either. Because a woman don't want to be in control neither. He need to know when to pull the rein and when to let it go. And I have a situation, I remember some years ago, and I admire this young man, because age doesn't determine manlyhood. And this young man stood his ground very early, laid the foundation. This is what he stands for, X, Y, and Z. Nobody could stop him from doing whatever he wants to do. So he don't want that kind of behavior where you have to be doubting, you're watching, you're macroing, where you went, how you come, where you go. He didn't want that at all. He said, listen, this is what it is. I put in my cards on the table and I tell you, this is what I stand for. You can't stop me. If I want to take a woman, you can't stop me from taking a woman. You understand? So don't put me through the 21 questions. I and you in a relationship, I and you in a relationship. I committed to that, you committed to that. But we're not going to go into that level of disrespect and doubt between each other. You want to know something, ask me. And I go tell you. You understand? Say likewise, same here. But there was not no, and watch me, you wouldn't believe how that stood out as a real manly principle. Rather than play games and beat around the bush, the man put everything on the table. I had enough respect for the young man. Enough respect for him. We never had a problem between us, really. As a matter of fact, our problem was family getting involved in our business. And eventually come between the both of us. But it wasn't, we never had a problem between us per se. Because very early, the foundation was established as to how we would be operating together. And I had no problem being a woman in that situation, because I had the confidence that he knew exactly what he wanted. Because according to him, he always said his father taught him that a man without a plan is not a man. So he always had a plan, and he had a plan A, B, and C. And when plan A failed, he always had a plan B to jump into one time. And part of me, I adopted some of his thinking, which has allowed me to be who I am today and as successful as I am, because I always have a plan too. I always have at least 3 plans on the drawing board. And if one fails, I jump into the other one. And by the time I'm operating in the second plan, I'm already formulating a third plan back in place. So I always have a direction as to where I would go and what I want to do. So I say this to say that we need to step into our role. One, we need to stop being manipulated by circumstances and situations and allowing people to use children, to use words to put us in our own mental prison. Because the prison that you feel you're trapped in now with whoever you're in a situation with, because you might be in a situation with somebody and you're telling yourself you're trapped. And I've had that come to me a lot lately, where men are feeling trapped, where women are feeling trapped in relationships because they feel like they don't have a way out. That is a lie. That is a lie in your own mind and in your own thought. You have a way out. All you had to decide is that no more manipulation. No more manipulation, and let the cards, the chips fall where they may. Because either way, you still have to go. You see, you can't stay in a toxic situation all the days of your life. It will either kill you and damage everybody else in it, or you stand up for what is right and you leave it and create a healthier foundation for yourself. It might be hard at first, but eventually it will get easier with time. But one way or the other, a decision needs to be made. So I don't know why this came to my mind, but I said, let me share my thoughts and views on it. I hope it helps someone else to make the right decisions. Do not allow yourself to be trapped. Don't allow people to put you in traps. And I have had many traps in my life because of how I think. And I look back on it now and I see that because I allowed people to put me in mental trap is why I went through some of the things that I went through. But I was never really trapped. It was all in my head. And sooner or later, I had to make the decision to get out of that mental prison. And when I came out, I realized it was only a matter of one decision. So you are one decision away from liberation. One decision you have to make that could liberate you, and stand on it. And pray God that the pieces fall where they may. It doesn't stop you from being a good father. It doesn't stop you from being a good mother. It doesn't stop you from having relationship with the people around you. But you need to make a decision. And that one decision is going to be probably healthier for everybody involved. When I made mine, my daughter at the time, she didn't understand, and she probably tell herself she wants she daddy. Now she big, she realized, Mommy, thank you for making that decision, because my life would have been different. You understand? So sometimes we need to make decisions and see the bigger picture in the long run. So I hope this message do help you. I hope it resonates with you. If you like the video, please subscribe and share, and even leave a comment. And as I say, have a blessed, well, this is nighttime now, so I have a blessed night, and let the love, light, and peace be upon you.